News at noon starts right now.
Is another sunny August day in South Central Texas, and while that's great, it does mean it could be especially hot. We could push past 100 degrees, and that feels like temperature, Justin, would be even higher, right?
That's right, and it's already past 90, so it's already starting to feel like it's close to 100 with all that humidity out there. Some hazy skies today, not a lot of cloud cover though, and that's part of the problem. We don't have any clouds to block out the sun, so that means those temperatures, probably the hottest numbers we're going to see this week, and it's been a hot week in general. We didn't quite get to 100 yesterday. I feel pretty certain that we will today. Let me show you the numbers right now. We're at 92 here in San Antonio, 89 Uvalde, 93 in Eagle Pass, 91 Cotulla, so a lot of places already above that 90-degree mark. And when you factor in the humidity, it feels like 93 here in town, but 100 already in Gonzales. Feels like 101 in Carrizo Springs, 102 in Eagle Pass. And you're going to find that a lot of these locations, just here on the map, are going to jump up above 100 for several hours this afternoon. Kind of status quo, right? 99 at 3 o'clock, 101 at 4 p.m. And if you're going out to dinner tonight, maybe you have evening plans for Friday night, just be prepared for the heat. Even at 8 o'clock, we're still at 94, 9 o'clock, 91. So it will be a very hot stretch here. The good news is we do have some rain chances in our forecast. Holds off until Monday or Tuesday, and that should help us with temperatures a little bit. We'll discuss that. Plus, we got some tropical weather to get to, and we'll have that full forecast for you here in just a couple minutes.
Lots to talk about. Thanks, Justin. Well, new at noon, members of the Texas Senate Committee on Disaster Preparedness and Flooding met this morning and discussed 4 Senate bills, including 2 related to the deadly Hill Country flooding. Senate Bill 1 focused on flood preparedness and response, and Senate Bill 2 looked at outdoor warning sirens in flood-prone areas. While nothing was voted on, the theme around these bills is that they could save lives and prevent future tragedies.
As an entity with a long history of managing floods and flash flood alley, experience has taught us that conditions during flooding events can change very quickly. And Senate Bill 2 would make a real difference to protect lives and property. This bill would also give our local emergency coordinators and elected officials another tool in their toolbox for public notification. With all the testimony that we've heard at this committee, adding warning sirens at crucial points throughout Flash Flood Alley could make a real impact on public safety.
Some key takeaways from both bills looked at improving safety measures and emergency management protocols, implementing training prep for natural disasters, and adopting an outdoor warning siren system to alert people about a flood. It also looked at requiring campgrounds located in a floodplain to provide emergency access in cabins and the creation of a flash flood evacuation plan. Well, the city of San Antonio will have multiple town halls throughout August so residents can learn about fiscal year 2026, the proposed budget. Neighbors are invited to give feedback and ask questions on the proposed budget at those town halls. The first 2 are scheduled for Monday, August 18th, and they will be in districts 3 and 10. And we have more information on KSAT.com. Well, with the new school year about to begin, teachers and parents are stocking up for success. And this weekend, they can do it for less. From glue sticks to gym shoes, tax-free weekend is here. And Devin Karp shows us how local thrift stores are helping stretch those dollars even further.
Another year of school means another year of shows for Warren High School theater teacher Cody Oaf.
It's a little bit of a secret right now, so they think that they know what it's going to be. They may be right.
But you can't put on a production without a lot of help and a lot of supplies.
I always need things like definitely always glue sticks, map colors, scissors, and rulers. You know, those are things that we definitely use often in design and sketches.
And getting school supplies is going to be a lot easier with tax-free weekend, which started now.
Anything that you buy won't be taxed. And then on top of that, Goodwill is offering 50% off all clothing at all of our stores.
Until midnight on Sunday, parents, students, even teachers can buy things for school under $100 without paying a cent in taxes. It's not just school supplies either. Shirts, pants, shoes like this, all are exempt. If you want a full list, you can visit KSAT.com. But if you can wear it every day, you're probably in the clear.
It's really, really helpful for families, especially if you have multiple children or children of all ages.
Goodwill says with rising popularity for thrifted clothes and their 50% discount on top of no taxes, it's going to get busy.
It is a very popular weekend, so I think the best strategy is to give yourself plenty of time to peruse through everything.
Mr. Oaf says weekends like this can go a long way towards making sure that teachers, not just parents and students, are ready to start a new school year.
Teachers do have to oftentimes put a lot of their own money into their classes, for their students, which they're very happy to do, but also, any help would definitely save a little bit of that pocket change for us.
Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Right now on KSAT.com, we have a closer look at the qualifying items this tax-free weekend. The list does include clothes and school supplies, but will not qualify everything. Well, movie fans are remembering the Alamo for a different reason this weekend. In honor of the 40th anniversary of Pee-wee's Big Adventure being released, an iconic piece of the film's memorabilia is going on display today. Our Ernie Zuniga was there a short time ago and has more.
Definitely going back to my childhood this afternoon. I was 9 years old when Pee-wee's Big Adventure came out in 1985, and Colby Lanham, who is here, a senior researcher and historian, similar age back in 1985?
Yeah, I was 2 years old. No, 1985 I was 1.
Oh my gosh,
so
okay.
A little younger.
Well, nonetheless, here we're reliving all of this, and this is just a beautiful piece to have here in the Alamo. So I guess we should start by just talking about the bike and how psyched is everybody here to have this on the grounds?
I think that we're all very excited. It's been well received, and I think a couple of us were a little skeptical about bringing it on, myself included, but I think we made the right decision. It's going to bring a lot of really interesting people to the Alamo.
Have you had any pushback from people who say, now wait a minute, let's not disrespect what happened here. You got Davy Crockett and Santa Ana and all these amazing people who sacrificed their lives and what happened here, and Pee-wee Herman's bike.
Yeah, there's always going to be the purists, myself included. I'm a little bit of that, but we have to remember that a lot of people get their history from Hollywood, and that's what brought people like Phil Collins into the fold. Fess Parker and John Wayne fostered generations of love for the Alamo story, and Pee-wee Herman did that too.
Yeah, and there's enough room on the grounds here for everyone, and to be very clear, you guys are maintaining the kind of the sacredness of the shrine. The bike will not be in the shrine at all.
That's correct. This is behind the Alamo Church in the Ralston Family Collection Center, and so you can come and see it in this space. It'll never be in the Alamo Church.
Yeah, and you can start to see it, the public can start to see it tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah, exactly right. If you are wanting to come and see the bike, you can do that, but you also become a member. If you go to alamo.org, you can pay a very small fee. You become a member, and you get to come in +1 and see this bike. There's a sneak peek tonight.
Yeah, so you can get a jump on everybody. If you become a member in the next few hours, you can actually come here later on. Just fascinating stuff. Again, I could talk all day long about this, but I know there's other news to get to. But so fascinating. Colby, thank you so much for your time and for having us out here this afternoon.
Hey, my pleasure. Y'all come out and see the bike.
Very good. And again, if you can't make it to the members event this evening, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, you just get your ticket to the Alamo grounds and you can see this and take pictures with your own eyes. It's just fascinating stuff. So with that, in the spirit of the late, great Pee-wee Herman, from the Alamo, I'm Ernie Zuniga. KSAT 12 News.
The perfect assignment for Ernie. I know he was so excited. All right, thank you, Ernie. Well, a lot of families are feeling the weight of credit card debt, and if you're using yours just to make ends meet, you are not alone. The simple steps you can take right now to get your debt under control. Plus, a Hill Country jeweler that launched an effort to raise money for flood victims is sharing how the results of their effort are paying off. A look at where the money is expected to go. Well, I got a heartwarming update today. Right after the Hill Country flood, I got to tell you about the Kerrville-based jewelry company, James Avery, and their goal to help their very own community after the flood. The store announced it would donate 100% of the proceeds from the sales of its popular Deep in the Heart of Texas charm. It sold out immediately. And now all those back orders have been fulfilled. And the company told us today 100,000 customers ended up buying the charms, which amounted to $7 million for flood recovery efforts. They are working with trusted organizations like Samaritan's Purse and Mercy Chefs to help with 4 specific categories: emergency response and relief, food, shelter, and mental health, schools, child care and elder care, and community programs and economic rebuilding. Well, if credit card debt has you feeling stressed out, you are not alone. Many families are struggling to keep up, and it can feel like you'll never get ahead. But there are ways to take back control. Ivan Herrera has some simple steps you can take to start paying down your debt and finally get some breathing room.
I started to feel the crunch when I started to use credit cards for just daily essentials.
For Jennifer Baez, more expenses and less money coming in meant one thing. She had to lean on credit cards just to stay afloat.
I knew that that was a big red flag.
Jennifer is far from alone. Americans owe a combined $1.21 trillion in credit card debt, and the average balance per household is around $6,000. With many credit cards with interest rates above 20%, it's tough to make a dent. So what can you do if you're struggling to pay down your credit card debt? Consumer Reports' Lisa Gill says try to hit pause on using your credit cards and look for ways to cut back on monthly spending.
Take any extra money and pay down the debt on the card with the highest interest rate. Doing that helps you save more in the long run because you're tackling the most expensive debt first.
If your credit score is in good shape, you could move your high interest balance to a card that offers 0% interest for the first year or so. Just try to pay it off before that period ends, or the usual high interest kicks back in. Try adjusting your payment dates to line up with your payday. It can make staying on top of bills a lot easier. Some credit cards let you pick your own due date. You can set up automatic payments. That way, at least the minimum gets paid on time and you avoid late fees. But if your debt is becoming too much, pick up the phone and call the credit card company and explain your situation. Ask for a lower interest rate and if they offer a hardship plan.
The credit card company may temporarily lower your interest rate, reduce your minimum payment, or even waive certain fees, usually for a few months or even up to a year.
You can also contact a reputable nonprofit credit counseling agency that may be able to help lower your interest rates and consolidate your debt into one manageable monthly payment. That's what Jennifer did. She worked with the nonprofit credit counseling agency Money Management International, which helped her take control of her debt.
They offered me a lifeline in that aspect.
Ivan Herrera, KSAT 12 News.
And here's another step that really helps. Take a few minutes each week to review your finances, see what's coming in, what's going out, and what's due soon. Catching issues early gives you time to adjust before a payment is missed. And I am missing the rain a little bit now, Justin, because it's really hot outside.
Well, I was kind of surprised, Courtney. I was looking at my yard yesterday. It has browned up so quickly.
It happened really fast.
It has, and you look outside with live cam, it kind of looks dry out there. But San Antonio has not received as much rain as a lot of other spots in South Texas, so that's part of it. Molds are at 400 today. They actually came down. That's good to see. I know a lot of people have been sniffling and sneezing. The aquifer 2 is down 0.2 foot to 629.4. That's actually not a good number, and I think it also tells a story that actually we do still need some rain. When might we get it? There is some in the forecast. We'll show it to you coming up.
Well, Justin, you said something just a minute ago before the break that, we've talked about all the rain and so much of the flooding, and that's really top of mind for a lot of us. But San Antonio itself did not get a lot of rain in recent weeks.
It's a very complicated setup.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the drought map, for instance, some places have gotten way too much, and there are spots here in San Antonio that are still very much in a drought. So it's just sometimes how it goes around here. We do have some rain though in the forecast, Courtney, and that is good news. Hopefully it falls in the right spots. You go outside one more time, and it is hot. 92. Converse, New Braunfels, San Antonio, Bernie, as usual, a little cooler, but Stinson's at 93, and we're on the verge of getting that heat index up to 100. It is a certainty that we will be above 100 for that feels like number for several hours today. And, don't let it sneak up on you because we've had a pretty good summer. This is the kind of day that heat illness can get to you pretty quickly. Heat alerts are posted across the plains. Now, heat stretches all the way up to Minneapolis, for instance. But just because we don't have heat advisories here doesn't mean it's still not, sort of a dangerous situation. And then you have the extreme heat warnings in places like Phoenix, which got up to 118 yesterday, an all-time record in August for Phoenix. And they're already at 102. Vegas is already at 100, so they're going to see more extreme heat there. And we're warming up in a big way here across Texas, too. That heat high means business. And there's a look at the highs. 110 in Phoenix, that's actually a cool down for them. 101 Dallas, 102 Abilene will be right at about 100. And you can see the heat all the way up to, as I said, Minneapolis, where they're expecting a high of 91 today. That is above average for those folks, as this heat high is kind of stretching far and wide. If we do hit 100 today, that would be the 10th day this year. And if you look back to the last couple of years, so I plotted all the way back to 2016 how many 100-degree days we had. 2024 we had 27, quite a few. 2023 was a ridiculous year. We had 75. 2022 was rough too. But all that to say, we're doing a little bit better, actually much better than the last couple of years. The average is 18, by the way, if you're curious. And so we're below average too. That heat high does start to break down. Its influence starts to shrink a little bit in coming days. And on the edge of this thing, we got disturbances that are rolling around. So there's going to be a weak one that rolls into South Texas as we get into the weekend. Then it just kind of sits there. And it's not necessarily strong, but with the heat high starting to shift away and just that little bit of lift, and we certainly have the moisture, we could start to see some showers popping up, which would be great. This is tomorrow. And this model does show a shower or two on the coast. I don't think any of these make it far enough inland to affect us here in San Antonio. But as we get into Sunday, they should have a little more success working inland. And then we'll also be watching what's happening off to our north and west. Some energy coming in from that direction as well. And I can't show it to you yet because our high-resolution computer models don't go out that far. But I think by Monday you'll kind of see this rain coming in from the coast and then that rain coming in from the northwest kind of merging a little bit, and we'll have a slightly better chance for some rain, I think, Monday into Tuesday. And this kind of proves my point here. San Antonio's at 20.25. We are just about an inch above average, and we're on the verge of going into the red. I mean, we're very close to falling below average here. And look at Del Rio, 3.86 inches for the year, down 7 inches. So places like Del Rio still need a ton of rain to dig out of drought. So it really has been, kind of all over the place, so to speak, when it comes to who's gotten rain and who hasn't. That 20% chance, Monday and Tuesday, temperatures do come down a little bit. Thankfully, Courtney, it'll feel not quite as hot next week.
I feel like even though it's a couple degrees, I can always tell the difference.
Yeah, every little bit helps.
These days, I'll take it. Okay, thanks so much, Justin. Well, the San Antonio Missions are ready for game day, and fans have a chance to score tonight, too. The merch you could get for free. It is game day for the San Antonio Missions, and tonight fans could score some free gear. Tonight is Flying Chanclas soccer jersey giveaway night. The first 2,000 fans at tonight's game will get to take home and the game starts at 7:05 at the Wolf. Then tomorrow it's the Hill Country Relief fundraiser night. Manu Ginobili will throw out the first pitch. Proceeds from the jersey auction will go to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund to support the field restoration of Ingram Little League. Coming up on Sunday, it's the Military Appreciation Game. Those with a valid military ID can get 4 free tickets at the box office. After the game, the kids can run the bases.
For Sacramento wide, did a great job there being patient on defense too.
Bennett has a play at the 18 and he'll get it past Sanchez for the goal.
San Antonio FC coming off a tough loss at home against Sacramento Republic FC on Saturday. They were tied at 1 at the half. Then Sacramento scored 2 goals late to get away with a 3-1 win. San Antonio drops their 4th home loss of the season. The team talked earlier this afternoon about their next match in Sin City.
That was something that we discussed. At the 85th minute, we were 1-1 and we gave up 2 goals. Same thing against New Mexico when we had the lead and give up 2 goals in the extra time. So that's something that we need to do better. We talk about it, we practice it. When the team look more fatigued or tired with heavy legs, that's when we're going to be smarter keeping the ball. Because if you give up the ball, you're gonna face an attack one after the other one within minutes, within seconds. So that's not a good way to manage the end of the game. So we had to keep the possession of the ball. We had to move the game to the opposite sides of the field, not in front of our box. So that's something that we start working on it this week.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both, right? We've created more chances and we need to score chances, but also I do think we need just more passion for that win, more, kind of seeing out the game better, more willing to defend and more willing to put our body on the lines, for the win. And that just comes with, I think, focus the last 15 minutes of the game, knowing that we can win this and not just kind of going through the motions. And I feel like, some plays we take off and it's a lack of focus, really, I think so. And that has to start within, ourselves to be better at that.
SAFC hits the pitch tomorrow night at 9:30 in Las Vegas. The American Heart Association just released a long-awaited scientific advisory statement for ultra-processed foods. The key message is that most ultra-processed foods are terrible for our health. And the AHA says it's time for the food industry to stop producing them and regulators to stop allowing them. The AHA said research has found a dose-response relationship between ultra-processed foods and heart attacks, stroke, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and all-cause mortality. This comes just days before the arrival of the second Make America Healthy Again Commission report. It's expected to lay out proposed policy changes regarding ultra-processed food. Well, today could be one of the hottest days of the week here in San Antonio, and we are not alone. Extreme heat is gripping the American West. Phoenix reached 118 degrees today. That broke the 120-year-old record of 117 set back in 1905, though it's been tied plenty of times, including 2023. Still, the record heat is problematic because it is fueling wildfires in California and Colorado. Justin, we know how when it gets super dry, it's such a big risk.
Well, to see Phoenix to get to that number yesterday, I mean, that was
wild.
It really was. And thankfully there'll be a few degrees cooler today, but it's still dangerous heat out there. And yes, you got fires out in California. We've had the fires up in Canada, and just the country as a whole is dealing with a lot of heat at the moment. High temperatures today here in San Antonio are expected to jump above that century mark. 101 is what we're calling for here in San Antonio. Kerrville 97, Del Rio 102. I mean, it's just hot, and the heat index is going to make it feel that much worse. Right now, we're forecasting a heat index of 102, but just looking at the current numbers, it could go a little higher than that. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a heat index of 104 here in San Antonio. So I would just caution everyone to be extra careful. Don't forget about, when you're walking your dogs, do it either in the morning or the evening, because the pavement in this case is just going to be way too hot for the paws. This is a temperature outlook, and this is kind of what I was alluding to here. How to read this map, the darker the orange, the higher the likelihood is that you will see above average temperatures during the stretch of August 14th to August 18th. So we're looking far ahead here, but my point in showing you this is we're in for more heat, it looks like, next week. The one thing that we would need to watch would be the tropics, and we're going to get you an update on what's going on there coming up in just a couple minutes. Courtney.
And I think you've gone through a lot of trauma growing up.
That's Judge William Cruz Shaw speaking to a student accused of bringing tactical gear and ammunition to Rhodes Middle School back in April. He's also facing an arson charge. The student was in court asking to be released into the custody of his grandmother. The teen has been in custody since his arrest in May, and he will stay there. The judge denied his release, keeping the teen in Bexar County Juvenile Detention for the time being. Judge Shaw still believes he's a danger to himself and others, and the boy's time in detention gives him access to mental health services.
And I like that you're receiving services in the back. I really do. And you're progressing through those services. Okay? There's a light at the end of this tunnel. I promise you that. But let's keep you here. I know you're safe and you're receiving services. You're having no problems in the back.
Judge Shaw set the teen's next detention hearing for August 21st. A legislative standoff between state Democrats and Republicans is now heading to the courts. That's after Governor Greg Abbott moved to vacate the seats of Democrats who fled the state, breaking quorum. Democrats fled the state Sunday to prevent the legislature from passing a new congressional map that would add more Republican seats to Congress. Here's a look at that map. You can see the current map compared with the one that's proposed. That is at the center of this whole situation. And while legal experts and even Attorney General Ken Paxton are not favoring Abbott's odds, the case is going before the all-Republican Texas Supreme Court, made mostly of Abbott appointees. If the court sides with the governor, those members would need to be replaced in special elections. Another Nobel Peace Prize nomination for President Donald Trump, this time submitted by Cambodia's prime minister. This marks President Trump's third nomination. Previous ones were from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the government of Pakistan. They both cited diplomatic efforts in their regions, and that's also the reason Cambodia's prime minister gave for nominating Trump on Thursday. In a letter to the Norwegian Nobel Committee, the PM said that Trump played a, quote, crucial role in restoring peace and stability at the border between his country and Thailand. Fighting erupted there last month in the worst conflict the two nations have had in decades. The 5-day conflict came to a halt after President Trump threatened to stop trade talks unless they both agreed to a ceasefire. Well, the U.S. Air Force is making a policy change regarding its longtime transgender service members. Those with 15 to 18 years of service no longer will be provided early retirement benefits. That's according to a memo released this month obtained by The Hill. This is also in effect for those members who already had an early retirement package approved. Those service members are now being offered enhanced voluntary separation pay, but that's less than the previous arrangement. Earlier this year, President Donald Trump signed an executive order that said transgender people cannot satisfy the, quote, rigorous standards that are needed to wear a military uniform. LGBTQ rights groups and transgender troops have filed lawsuits against the Trump administration. The Supreme Court allowed the administration's policy to go into effect in May. Well, Fort Bliss will soon be housing migrants. The Pentagon says a migrant detention facility is being built in the Army base in El Paso. It'll be called Camp East Montana and will open in mid-August. The facility will initially house 1,000 migrants, but will be capable of holding up to 5,000 once it's completed. That will make it the largest federal detention center. It will house migrants who have either had their final orders of removal or in the middle of their removal proceedings. Well, after 10 hours of deliberation, Israel's cabinet approved Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's plan to escalate the war in Gaza and take control of Gaza City. This could pave the way for a phased military takeover of the enclave, a move to remove Hamas from power. Israel already controls around 3/4 of the territory. ABC's Devin Dwyer reports this announcement marks another escalation of Israel's 22-month war with Hamas, which recently left the negotiating table for a ceasefire.
Today in the tent cities set up in Gaza City, Palestinians, refugees in their own land, wondering where they might have to flee to next. The Israeli government early this morning approving a plan to take control of Gaza City, the biggest city in Gaza, by force. Prime Minister Netanyahu's security cabinet also approving 5 principles for ending the war. They include the disarming of Hamas, the return of all 50 remaining hostages, dead or alive, the demilitarization of Gaza, Israeli security control over the territory, and the establishment of a new government that involves neither Hamas nor the Palestinian Authority. Netanyahu on Fox News.
We don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern it properly without threatening us and giving Gazans a good life.
The major escalation facing intense opposition both at home and abroad. Across Israel, widespread protests. Families of Israeli hostages being held by Hamas chaining themselves outside Netanyahu's office as the security cabinet met.
We want him to stop. We want to stop the war. We want to bring the hostages home.
The United Nations today calling for an immediate halt to Israel's plan.
This further escalation will result in more massive forced displacement, more killing, more unbearable suffering, senseless destruction and atrocity crimes. The war in Gaza must end now.
Today, fresh airdrops of aid into Gaza to try to feed some of the hundreds of thousands of Palestinians starving and already forced from their homes. As 9 people trying to reach one of those airdrops were injured today when a balcony collapsed, trapping people underneath.
Israel's decision to take control of Gaza City goes against the advice of some of its top military leaders. It's also been condemned by one of Israel's closest allies, Germany, which said today it would halt some exports of military equipment until further notice. Devin Dwyer, ABC News, Washington.
Those wildfires in California exploding, and for much of the country, dangerous record-setting heat is on the horizon. I'm Olivia Rubin in New York with the latest coming up.
Well, right now, wildfires in California are raging. ABC's Olivia Rubin is tracking the latest for us.
Today, part of Los Angeles County under emergency as wildfires tear through communities, orders given for thousands of people to evacuate. The so-called Canyon Fire exploding overnight, growing to under 5,000 acres in just hours. Many people packing up and leaving, one man walking his horses to a safer place. Some people choosing to stay, using hoses to try to protect their homes.
Brother Jake, he was up there on the hill. He got a fire hose out. We all just basically clambered up there to try and wet down the house as good as we could.
Desperate efforts underway to contain that blaze, helicopters dropping water from above, firefighters on the ground trying to tamp down the flames. Several structures already burned. Horrifying scenes in Colorado, too. 2 wildfires there merging, burning nearly 75,000 acres, smoke filling the sky. Red flag warnings are in effect with high winds expected, and the Colorado National Guard has been called in to help.
We still have a lot of work ahead of us and hot, dry days, so it's going to be a continued effort.
Those fires fed by extreme heat. More than 50 million under alert today for record-breaking, crushing temperatures. Extreme heat warnings in effect for the desert Southwest, including Palm Springs, Phoenix, and Tucson. Temperatures are expected to remain in the triple digits and go up to 115 in some areas. And some of that heat is breaking records. Phoenix, Arizona hitting 118 degrees yesterday. That is the hottest August there since record keeping began in 1895. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
And we've seen wildfires in our area too, so we know, Justin, how difficult that situation can be.
No doubt. California's going through it again, and they're going to have a few days here, I'm afraid, where there is a fire concern. All right, I'm going to take you over to Transguide real quick. We have an incident here on 35 South at 1604. It looks like they're getting things cleaned up. It's on the service road, but it is slowing traffic down here along I-35. Just want to let you know about that. Meantime, the almanac for today, so far 92, the average is 97, the record is 105 set back in 2023. We may hit 100, but we're not going to get to the record. Thank goodness. The question is, when will it ever cool down? We'll look into next week and see if we can get some cooler temperatures. That's coming out. All right, welcome back. We're going to start in the tropics. That's where things have been trying to heat up this week, although I'll tell you, the Hurricane Center has had these 2 areas highlighted for several days and nothing has happened. There's still a 50% chance of development here, and there still may be some development. But the good news here is this would move out harmlessly over the water and wouldn't affect any land. Same probably with this area, which they've reduced to a 10% chance. So at the moment, there's nothing that really jumps off the page or is really that concerning. So then we turn our attention to the coast of Africa. And this is the time of year where we start to look right here at this spot, because we get these thunderstorm complexes that come off of the coast there, and where you see these reds and oranges, that represents deeper thunderstorm activity, and that's kind of the first step you need to get these tropical systems kind of moving and underway. So as these waves come off the coast, they get into the warm Atlantic, and we may start to see some development here. Now, we have not yet. I want to make that very clear. And the computer models have continued to hint that there would be some development. This is one computer model. This is the American computer model. And it does want to develop something down the line. Now, we're talking almost a week away here. This is next Thursday. And then maybe next Saturday, not even this Saturday, but the next Saturday, it wants to develop something near the islands. A couple things here. This is way out. It could be dead wrong. But the models have just kind of been hinting at this, and that's the reason I show it. And where it goes from here, anybody's guess. because we haven't even got anything to develop yet. I think the bottom line, let's watch it. Let's see what happens here. But I do think that the Atlantic is going to start to heat up, and we're going to start to have to watch that area near Africa a little closer in the coming weeks as we near the peak of hurricane season. Outside right now, a little hazy but clear. 92 at the airport, 92 in New Braunfels, 92 Converse, 90 Bernie, 93 Stinson. So everyone is 90 or above now, and we're just about to jump over that 100-degree mark for the feels like temperature there at Stinson. It's muggy, and that temperature is rising quickly with all the sun out there. So again, this is the kind of heat that will catch up to you pretty quickly if you're not careful. 93 in New Braunfels, 89 Kerrville, 88 Rock Springs, 92 right now in Uvalde. And the heat index is highest, Carrizo Springs. That really has been the place that has seen some of the higher heat indices as of late. But I think the heat index there could jump over 105, and that is starting to drift into the danger zone. One thing we have that we don't have today is cloud cover. And that was helping us a little bit yesterday. I know there wasn't much, but even just a few clouds can sometimes help, shave off a degree or two with the temperature. It is almost full sun today, and it feels like it. Futurecast shows that we don't expect much today, really not tomorrow either, other than maybe a shower on the coast. But by Sunday, we may start to see some of these coastal showers get a little closer, and we'll be watching some energy coming in from the north and west. By Monday, that may give us some showers and storms. So 20% chance there Monday and Tuesday, and temperatures come down a little bit into the upper 90s by early next week.
All right. Thanks, Justin. Well, new music from a local band that's been jamming for a couple of decades. We'll take a listen. Well, a local band has something to celebrate. They've been part of the San Antonio music scene for almost 20 years. Pop Pistol hits the milestone this October. Here's a taste of their music. It's part of our latest edition of SA Vibes.
Something inside of me, I can't sing. You hold all my microaggressions. The more I close my eyes to it, the touch of truth, the grail chance. Surely you will outgrow right now.
We started as Pop Pistol gestating inside of this big old warehouse, and there was a bunch of people that were involved in creating what became the Black Lion.
We used to play at a lot of places that were non-traditional, like homeless shelters or like retirement centers or elementary schools, and the response was still like you could still feel something, and every time it was different, but that kind of made me feel like something was happening.
We started in a garage and then went to house parties and to music venues. From there, you find fellow bands are doing the same thing, and you find camaraderie within that. That will never get old, no matter if it's from 20 years ago to right this moment.
I'm happy to be releasing a new song every few weeks this year, and that's our goal, is to release a new song every few weeks, make some videos.
So enjoy it, because I keep saying it's Pop Pistol season.
Congratulations for them on that milestone. Pop Pistol just released their latest single called Sooner Noon on all streaming platforms, along with a music video on their website, pistolapop.com. If you want to see them live, you have a chance tomorrow. The band is performing at the Lone Star Arts District, and the show is free and for all ages. Doors open at 7 p.m., and the band has two sets, one at 8:30 and one at 10:30. The show is a black light party, so expect some super interesting visuals. And if you want to keep diving into the local music scene, you can scan the QR code on your screen to find our SA Vibes page on KSAT.com. All episodes are also on the KSAT YouTube page and on KSAT Plus.
I'm vengeance.
The Batman is coming back.
Warner Brothers Discovery says The Batman Part 2 is due to begin filming next spring, with a planned release date of October 1st, 2027. The company also told shareholders DC Studios co-head James Gunn is working on 2 2026 releases, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Clayface, and the next Wonder Woman movie.
Joyce, are you a nurse? Bang on target. I'm Elizabeth. Would you take a look at that for me, please?
Dear God.
'Tis a lot of blood. Would you care to join us to discuss things further? Who is us? I'm sorry, how rude of me. We're the Thursday Murder Club.
The official trailer is out for the Thursday Murder Club. Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley, and Celia Imrie are retirees who work on cold cases until a new murder kicks things up a notch. The Thursday Murder Club, based on the best-selling novel, debuts August 28th on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
What a cast.
No kidding. There's a lot of big names there. Kind of looks interesting. Hot today, obviously, this weekend too, and then some rain chances next week.
So that's your forecast. Just hot. Drink water. You'll be okay. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.